Good morning. This is Greg. This post is related to a number of Tesla related issues that have come up since earnings were announced about a week ago. In the case of UBS, it was announced yesterday that Tesla would need $8 billion to build out the charging network in order to put gasoline stations within just like to replicate how gasoline stations would be available within 4 minutes of most drivers. That was one of several issues that were posted. Goldman Sachs announced that because of the capital raise needed to address losses at the early end of the Model 3 sales, this was another reason why the stock should be cut almost in half over the near term. There's a third item that's come up, and I think everyone should be aware of that, and that is that Elon Musk may have athlete's feet. So as a result, I think the stock price should fall another $50. So I wanted to address all these issues thoroughly because I think they're significant, especially given that at least once a week there's a new announcement made by a large bank about the future of Tesla. In the case of the first issue, which was the capital requirements required to install all these gas stations, on the surface, the concept sounds good and it implies that Tesla needs to put out a lot of capital. Tesla currently has 300 charging stations, at least in the United States. And I don't know the numbers in Europe and other places that they have them, but they're expanding there as well. The other thing is that the charging station network that's been set up has been really targeting long distance travel in between cities and not necessarily local charging facilities. Why? The answer is at least a third to half of the people right now are primarily getting their charges at a home facility or possibly at a work facility. So when you look at the need to put the same amount of gasoline stations in is limited by the fact that there are actually people that can charge their vehicles at home and actually don't need to drive to a gasoline station of any type to charge. Now, is this going to work for everybody? Absolutely not. But bringing up the capital costs related to setting up a gasoline station structure, I thought was ridiculous when I heard it. And it's particularly ridiculous because GM or Ford or any other company does not own the gasoline stations. So asking any one entity to bear the cost of charging every electric vehicle out there, I think is ridiculous. What I do think is happening is the fact that there are hedge funds attached to many of these large firms in terms of relationships of some sort, or in fact, within these firms. So when you have a hedge fund that needs to make money, by making statements like this that move the stock a few dollars, it can actually be very lucrative because the reports that are passed out tend to go to clients paying for those reports first, and then they're shared with the general public after those clients have had a chance to trade on that information. So I cry foul against Goldman Sachs for their statement regarding you're doing business with Deutsche Bank. And so now when you try to go to your capital raise, if Goldman Sachs does not get to do that capital raise, we're going to make your life difficult by announcing that your stock price is going to fall because you need capital to fuel your operations. I cry foul on UBS because for an analyst of that caliber to suggest that Tesla has to put out all the dollars necessary to put in essence, gas stations everywhere, I think it's patently stupid, but it totally fits in with the playbook of entities making money on the hedge fund side while making prognostications that are made available by their affiliation with certain firms. The final note is that I mentioned athlete's foot as a reason why Elon Musk should not be trusted. When it comes to athlete's foot, I'm truly kidding. I use that as a placeholder for the fact that I believe until orders are taken and production begins on the vehicle, there's going to be a weekly, if not every other week, introduction of new items to try to discredit Elon Musk and Tesla. Um, I believe all of these are definitely motivated by profit and have nothing to do with what's really going on. In fact, I'm actually fascinated right now because as I really thought about where Tesla currently is, it's my belief that in most cases of car companies like Honda or the other manufacturers across the globe, everybody started with the cheapest vehicles first and then developed strength enough to move on and build the most expensive product. In the case of Tesla, they're actually starting at the top of the market and moving down. So what I mean by that is that in the case of the Model 3, yes, Tesla has some interesting stuff like the glass over the top of the vehicle. They've got a new screen that we can obviously see, and it's a different drivetrain. But in general, this car is actually less complex than the vehicles that they've been building for the last 5 to 10 years. So I believe they may try to stub their toe on gee-whiz technology that messes up their introduction on time. But I actually think the Model 3 will be a simpler build because it is not as complex as the other two vehicles that they're currently building in large numbers and selling all around the globe. So I'm introducing the athlete's foot or bad breath or whatever you want to bring forward as a method for those who have control of the markets through the press to create an incident. The final note and the photo that I chose to show you, which I thought was amazing to consider given the concern people are having about how are these electric car owners going to be serviced, is please note the image that I have there for a charging vehicle. The goal is to provide 15 minutes of charge to dead vehicles, Tesla or whoever the make might be. And this vehicle is being provided by AAA. When I spoke with Tesla about this, the reps there told me that if your car dies on the side of the road, your only choice is to call to have a flatbed take you to a charging location. What this clearly shows is that there are outside entities that are starting to support the effort that's associated with the increase of the number of electric vehicles, Tesla and other makes. So this vehicle will provide you enough electricity to get you 5, 10, 15 miles as needed so you can get to a charging facility and charge up your car. These vehicles are being rolled out throughout the United States and I believe throughout the globe, and it's worth perhaps signing up with one of these services if you do in fact choose to go electric, Tesla or no. So what this highlights is that there is an effort beyond the obvious to support the success of electric vehicles. It's time for everybody to get on board and pitch in to help make the dreams work rather than pitching in to try to kill the dream with a profit motive in mind. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.